All right, well, good morning. And thank you for having me. I hope everyone's doing okay. Let me first begin by saying it is an honor to be here. This is my first time in Germany, and I have to say it's a beautiful country, and I really can't wait to explore by going on some of the tours. Before I begin, I want to thank the Society of American Travel Writers for organizing this event. I know that it takes a tremendous amount of hard work and dedication to put together an event like this, and I think you deserve a round of applause for it. Today, I want to share a little bit about my life as a travel writer, or more specifically, a travel blogger. Though I don't travel anywhere near as much as some of you people, I do love traveling, and I do love blogging about it. Adding the fact that because my blog is my business, the travel becomes tax deductible, so that's a double bonus. A little something about me. Officially, I am the founder and CEO of TTZ Media Inc. TTZ is an advertising company that provides advertising solutions for technology publishers. It's also the media company that holds all my online properties. However, most people know me as the blogger who makes money online by telling people how much money he makes online. I'm the author of several books on the topic of blogging and making money by blogging. The first is called Making Money Online with JohnChow.com. This is a free ebook. You can grab a copy at my blog, JohnChow.com. Over 200,000 people have downloaded this ebook since I made it available. My second ebook is called The Ultimate Blog Profit Model. This ebook details the business model that allows my blog to make the income that it does, and you can download that at blogprofitcamp.com. My third book is a real book. Make Money Online, Roadmap with a .com Mogul was published by Morgan James in New York, and it's available at most major bookstores like Amazon.com or Barnes & Nobles. It hit #1 in this category within 2 weeks of being on Amazon. Another interesting fact about me, I worked at a job for a grand total of 8 months in my entire life. My first job was at McDonald's. I lasted 4 hours before I quit. I have tremendous respect for people who can work at McDonald's, because I can't. My second job was a phone solicitor for a carpet cleaning company, and I lasted about 2 weeks before I got fired. And my last job was selling car audio for A&B Sound, and I lasted about 7 months before they canned me from that job. After that, I concluded that working sucks, and I never did it again. All right, one more fact about me. When my daughter was born, and my wife and I were deciding on a name for her, I made sure her domain name was available before naming her. SallyChow.com. She's 4 years old. She has her own blog that was started before she was born. Her first post was a photo of an ultrasound, and it said, "I'll be out soon." She has her own Twitter account. You can follow her at Sally Chow. And like every other 4-year-old, she has an Apple iPad. I can tell that she's growing up in the iPad generation. A few months ago, I told her to do something that she didn't want to do, and she did this to me. And I said, "What was that?" And she said, "I'm making you smaller." Kids today, they don't give you the finger, they give you this. Whenever I meet people at a trade show or conference like this one, the most often asked question is, how did I do all this? What was the secret to my success? What did I do to create a successful blog and business? To answer that question, I want to take you back to the beginning. So this is my story. I was born in a small farming village in mainland China. The village was called Guangzhou. It was it's about a 3-hour train ride from Hong Kong. This is a picture of the house I grew up in. It was built brick by brick by my great-great-grandfather. It still stands today. There are no windows, so you never have to worry about your view being blocked. It doesn't have running water. We get that out of a well with a bucket. There's no electricity, heating, or air conditioning. Cooking was done by an open fire. I spent the first 7 years of my life in this house. My family immigrated to Canada when I was 7 years old. We landed in Vancouver. How many have been to Vancouver? Beautiful city, right? Yeah. Home of the 2010 Olympic Winter Games. Vancouver is always on the top 10 list among best cities in the world to live. The Mercer list ranks Vancouver number 4 best city in the world and number 1 best city in North America. And why not? Look at it. However, this wasn't the Vancouver I grew up in. This was the Vancouver I grew up in. Vancouver's downtown east side is the pimple on an otherwise perfect body. The downtown east side is the poorest neighborhood in Canada. It's home to the highest concentration of drug users and HIV infection in North America. It's not the best place to raise a family, but it's where I grew up. I was a latchkey kid because both my parents had to work to make ends meet. Looking at this, many would say that my childhood must have sucked. But you know what? I never saw it that way. What I saw was I live in a place with a flushing toilet. Never had that in a house in China. All we had was an outhouse where we would go do our business and then just push it aside. So while life in the downtown east side was hard, it was still a huge improvement over life in China. Growing up in Vancouver, I never saw myself with problems. I only saw myself with opportunities. And I think that is one of the secrets to success. How do you perceive your circumstances? When you look at a situation, do you see an opportunity or do you see a problem? I only saw opportunities because that's what my dad taught me. He said, life is nothing but opportunities. And one of the reasons he moved us to Vancouver was so I can have better opportunities. He said, in this country, I could be anything I wanted to be. And of course, he wanted me to be a doctor. Typical Chinese parents always want the kids to be doctors. Today, my dad has no concept of what I do. He just tells his friends that I sit in front of a computer and money comes in. Actually, that's not that far from the truth. I've always been entrepreneurial in nature. I did my first business venture when I was 16 years old. My friends and I thought of some crazy scheme to set up a Valentine's Day dance at a big ballroom. A few months earlier, we've attended a Christmas dance set up by some other school kids in a small hall. We had visions of doing a much bigger production, and I was a project manager. I booked the entire grand ballroom of the Ramada Renaissance Hotel in downtown Vancouver, rented a ton of DJ equipment, hired security, had tickets printed. Tickets, I remember, was $6 in advance, $8 at the door. We didn't do any advertising except for word of mouth. I gave some free tickets to the popular kids in school and had them sell tickets for me. Looking back at it, I'm really surprised the hotel rented a ballroom to us. I mean, yeah, we were in our teens, and we didn't really have any ways of paying for this if the dance flopped and nobody showed up. The ballroom had a coat room next to it, but on that night, there was no hotel staff to man it. So I asked my brother to work the coat check. He asked why, and I said, the hotel doesn't have anyone and people want to hang up their coat. Just go in there and charge them 50 cents or something. So he went in there and charged people 50 cents to hang up their coats. After about 10 coats, he raised the price to $1. And then he disallowed people from hanging up 2 coats on the same hanger. Then he went to the security guy at the entrance of the ballroom and told him, don't let anyone into the dance room until they hang up their coats. Then he raised the price to $2. When the dance was over and I got all the money together and did a count, I found that after subtracting the ticket sales from the cost of the ballroom, the sound equipment, the music licensing fee, and security, we came ahead with a net profit of $50. Yeah, we celebrated by spending the profit on dim sum the next day. We were quite happy that we were able to come ahead in a little business venture. That is, we were happy until we found out my brother made over $300 hanging up coats. I learned some valuable lessons that day. The most important being, it's not what you make, it's what you keep. Sure, it sounded great to tell people we made $3,000. However, it's not as impressive once they find out it cost you $2,950 to make it. And meanwhile, my brother's $300 was pure profit because his cost was zero. I discovered the internet around late 1997. Back then, you had to use a dial-up modem, and I think the speed was like 32K, really slow, but I was fascinated by technology. And the internet was the latest thing in tech. I wanted to learn more about it. I read books on how to create a website, and I used that knowledge to create a bunch of sites. One of those was called the Tech Zone. This was how it looked like back in 1999. Yes, black was in back in those times. After playing with the Tech Zone for a few months, I got a call from a man named Ed Homage. Ed worked for Maximum PC magazine, and he told me that Maximum PC was going to start an ad network and wanted my site to join. Maximum PC would post my news and sell advertising on my site, and any money made would be split 50-50. And I was like, I can make money doing this? Being part of the Maximum PC network was a fun and interesting experience. Unlike other ad networks, Maximum PC kept the number of affiliates low and to well-known sites. Some of the original members included Ars Technica, which was acquired last year by Condé Nast for a reported $30 million. I remember the first check I got from Maximum PC was for about $250. Next month, the check was for $2,500. And it kept going up after that. Things were going really well. And in September 1999, Ed called me up again and told me I needed to come to Comdex in Las Vegas. Back then, Comdex was the biggest technology trade show in North America, attended by over 200,000 people. Maximum PC hosted a party and an affiliate awards dinner during Comdex, and I received the award for top affiliate. I was the fastest growing site in the Maximum PC network. Things were going really well. My site traffic kept increasing, and I was making more money than I ever thought possible. It was the dot-com boom, and news was filled with stories every day of new startups and IPOs and the billionaires the internet was creating. Yeah, things were going really great. People were getting rich. The internet money train was going at full speed, and I was on it. It looked like the party would last forever. But of course it didn't. The start of 2001 was the beginning of the end for the dot-com boom. The US was entering recession, and investors were questioning the sky-high valuation placed on a dot-com company. During the boom times, it was not uncommon for a new startup to raise $20 million from an IPO and then spend the entire $20 million just to build their brand name. Being a media company, I benefited greatly from this flood of advertising money. Now that well was drying up. One by one, I watched all the ad networks I dealt with go under, including the Maximum PC network. A site called fuckcompany.com started up to list all the companies that was going to the internet graveyard. I saw my income drop to as low as $1,500 during those years. I had to make a drastic change in my lifestyle. During the boom days, I spent as much as $1,500 a month just eating out. I saw many fellow website owners go under. Some of them were run by really, really good people, and they were good friends of mine. But they just couldn't keep going with they couldn't pay the bills. I managed to survive because I remember my cost lesson, and I kept the cost of my site running very, very low. And also, I had quite a bit of money saved up during the boom times. I kept working on my site and slowly built it up to about $4,000 to $5,000 a month. And I stayed there for most of the bust years. But in the back of my mind, I kept wondering if the internet would ever come back to life. Would that train ever get back on its tracks? And then one day, in the summer of 2003, a little something called Google AdSense came along. If you were to put a date on when the internet came back to life, June 18th, 2003 would be that date. That was the day Google launched AdSense, a program that enabled website publishers to serve ads precisely targeted to the specific contents of their individual web pages. Up until that time, I was selling all my advertising to manufacturers that supplied me with review products for the tech zone. Google AdSense would be my first experimentation into cost-per-click advertising. I wasn't exactly sure what to expect because the site needed to do more than just to show ads. Readers had to click on them before I could make any money. I made $371.17 in my first month with AdSense. The next month, I made a little bit over $1,100, but I was starting to see the potential. Google started adding more ad sizes and allowed users to play around the colors. This really helped to increase the click rate. Using AdSense is nothing like normal CPM banners. With CPM banners, you just slap them anywhere and be done with it because you got paid whether the user clicked on it or not. With Google Ads, you only got paid when the readers clicked, so you have to optimize those ads to try to maximize the click rates. With the introduction of Google AdSense, Google almost single-handedly brought the entire internet advertising industry back to life. Suddenly, net advertising was booming again, and by the end of 2004, advertising on the internet exceeded the peak years of 2000, and is still at record pace today. New ad networks were popping up left and right, and I was starting to make serious money again. Things were looking good, and I was wondering if it could get any better. On December 31st, New Year's Eve, I was at a New Year's Eve party at the Plaza Nation, and that's when I met Sarah. She was with her girlfriends, and I was with my friends, and we just kind of bumped into each other. Our relationship was a unique one. Sarah was a world traveler, and she divided her time between Vancouver, Seattle, and Shanghai. Fortunately for me, the internet has no borders. It didn't matter where I was in the world. As long as I had access to the internet, I can log on, update my site, and make money. The internet allowed me to pursue a relationship that would have been impossible if I had a regular job or a regular business. But because I made money online, I was able to make it work. And a couple years later, we got married. Then things really took off. I'm often asked what I attribute most of my success to, and my answer has always been the same. The number one reason for my internet success is my wife. Thank you. You know, you can be the most knowledgeable person in the world about blogging and internet marketing, but if you don't have the support of your significant other, it's really, really hard to be a success at anything. I was doing okay before I met Sarah. However, I didn't really hit the big time until she came to my life. No, she wasn't some internet guru or superstar blogger. She knew nothing about that kind of stuff. What she did offer was a positive environment and unwavering support for whatever it is I wanted to do. She was my number one cheerleader and inspired me to levels I never dreamt possible. You'll be amazed at what you can do when you have a truly supportive person backing you up. Blogging is about relationship. If you have a negative relationship with your readers, the blog is not going to be successful. But if you have a negative relationship with your significant others, your blog success is the least of your worries. If you truly want to be successful, have a successful relationship with your wife, girlfriend, husband, or boyfriend first. The rest will fall into place. And for those of you who are single, and I'm sure there's a few of you out there, take heart. Your chances of having a successful blog is probably a lot higher than the average couple because you don't have to deal with the negative crap that happens to befall a relationship. However, the chance of you beating a couple who is in sync with each other is pretty slim. But don't worry, Successful people don't remain single for long. My blog started in December of 2005. Before then, it was nothing more than a static homepage with my picture on it. That was how it looked 10 years ago. I was hearing more news about blogging and how it was going to be the next big thing in web publishing. So I wanted to learn more about it. I figured the best way to learn about blogging was just to get in there and create a blog. And since I had this static homepage that was doing nothing, it made sense to turn that into a blog. So in December 1st, JohnChow.com was born. The blog served as a place for me to ramble about whatever's on my mind. There was no central theme or focus. It was a personal blog, just like the millions of other personal blogs out there. I used it to update friends and families on what's going on with my life. It allowed me to write about stuff that I couldn't write about in my technology sites, so that was good in that sense. It was never my intention to make money with the blog. I didn't have to. I made my money with ad-supported content sites and affiliate sites. And I really enjoy blogging about how I optimize those sites to make money on the internet. And it was those money-making posts that got people's attention and got me my readership. I started getting emails and comments from other webmasters asking me to look at their sites and give them some feedback and tips on how they can maximize traffic and monetize it. And as blogging got bigger, the question started shifting over to blogging and how to make money by blogging. So gradually, the blog post shifted from how to make money with a content site to how to make money with a blog. Making money from a blog isn't much different than making money with a content site. What works for one will also work for the other. However, one day I got an email from a reader, and it went something like this. You talk a good talk about making money by blogging, but your blog makes no money. So why should I listen to you? Like I said before, it was never my intention to make money off my blog. But that email had a valid point. I was blogging about how to make money by blogging, but my blog made no money. So in September of 2006, I decided to turn the blog into an income case study to prove that you can make money by blogging. The goal was to make full-time income with part-time blogging. I defined full-time income as $3,000 per month, and I defined part-time blogging as 2 hours per day, which was how much time I spent on average updating my blog. I figure if you can make $3,000 per month on 2 hours per day, you're not rich, but now you have choices. Chances are, you're still doing your normal job, so this $3,000 is on top of what it is you're already making. So that was the goal of the case study, and every month I would post how much money the blog made and how I made it, and the readers could follow along until I hit the income goal. So before September, the blog's income was zero. In September 2006, the first month that JohnChow.com became a monetized blog, it pulled down $352.94. 4 months later, it hit the $3,000 per month goal. After that, it was, well, that was fun. Let's see what happens if I pull out all the stops and really try to monetize a blog. So the case study continues, and the blog income kept going up. In 2007, the blog made $180,000. That doubled in 2008 to $360,000, and in 2009, income was over $500,000. And that is still being done on 2 hours a day. Now, why is it that most blogs make nothing, but my blog makes so much? According to the 2009 Technorati State of the Blogsphere report, the majority of bloggers do not make any money. Of those that do, only a handful are able to make enough for the owners to live on. In fact, if your blog makes more than $100 a month, you are doing better than over 90% of all the blogs out there. That's a pretty sad statement. Now, why is it that so many bloggers fail to make money from their blog? One thing for sure, it's not from lack of information. There are tons of information on the internet, both free and paid, that can tell you more than you want to know about making money by blogging and how to monetize a blog and get traffic to a blog. Yet, the vast majority of bloggers won't make anything. Why is that? I came up with 6 major reasons. Number 1, they're bloggers and not internet marketers. I feel this is the number 1 reason why bloggers don't make money. Technically, I am not a blogger. I never was. I'm an internet marketer who happens to blog. There's a big difference between the two. Most bloggers know how to blog. However, very few bloggers know how to market their blog, so what happens is they end up with a blog that's only read by close friends and family members. You can have the best blog in the world, but if nobody reads it, what's the point? In the movie Field of Dreams, the voice says, if you build it, they will come. While that may make that baseball player appear in a cornfield, it doesn't work online. Millions of people every week try to build it because they think that's all it takes to make money online. They build a site, they add content to it every day, and then they wonder how come they're not coming. Building it is not enough. You need to learn how to market it. Number 2, they don't take blogging seriously. Most people start their blog for fun and not to make money. That's how my blog started. Because most people work on their blog for fun, they don't take it as seriously as they should. Many are doing the let's give this a try and see what happens approach. If the blog makes money, great. If not, oh well. With that kind of attitude, it's not that hard to understand why most bloggers don't make money by blogging. Extremely low barriers of entry. This is one of blogging's biggest advantages, but it's also one of its biggest liabilities. With services like blogspot.com or wordpress.com, you can literally start a blog for $0. If you want a little more professional look, a new domain from GoDaddy will cost you only $8.95, and professional web hosting can be had for only just a few dollars a month. This extremely low barrier of entry also means that you don't have much, if anything, to lose. Should your blog fail to make any money, you curse me, say I don't know what the hell I'm talking about, and you move on with your life. This brings us back to the previous point. It costs you nothing to start, so you don't take it seriously. Easy in, easy out. Because of the low cost of entry, most bloggers take an easy in and easy out attitude. It costs nothing to get in, so if they don't make any money, it didn't cost them any money, and they can get out just as easily. They blog for money only. I said it before, I'll say it again. Blogging is not a get-rich-quick scheme. It takes a long time to build a readership. It takes consistency and a lot of passion for your topic. However, many people will get into blogging because they see me make hundreds of thousands of dollars from it. What usually happens is they end up blogging about a topic not because they like it, but because they think it's the topic that's going to make them the most money. I get emails like this one all the time. Hey, I started a blog on how to make money by blogging. Can you tell me how to make money from it? I get this at least once a week from somebody. Blog about your passion. Don't worry about the money. They don't treat it like a business. Most blogs never get out of the hobby stage. A money-making blog is a business and should be treated as such. Yes, I still consider johnchow.com my hobby, but I run the blog like a full-blown business. The blog has its own set of books, has its own bank account, all the income and expenses are tracked, and it files a yearly tax return. In other words, my blog is a full-blown incorporated business. If you really want to make money by blogging, you need to get serious about it, and you need to treat your blog like a real business. Like any business, it takes time, money, and commitment to build. My blog made $0 and barely got over 1,000 page views a day for the first 8 months of its life. However, I kept at it. I treated my blog like I treated my other businesses. I invested in it. I spent thousands of dollars improving it and promoting it. Success is never by accident. All the big money-making bloggers didn't get there because of luck or by taking the attitude of easy in and easy out. They got there by taking their blogging seriously and treating it like a business. And if you want to make money from blogging, you have to do the same. The average blog business model, the one that nearly all bloggers trying to make money online uses, is to produce a lot of content and then monetize the content with a Google ad. They may add a few other ad networks here or there, but for the most part, that is the extent of the monetization. Unfortunately, this business model cannot produce enough income for the average blogger to live on. The reason for this is because it requires too much traffic. The average blog gets less than 1,000 page views per day. Google AdSense pays on average of maybe $1 to $2 per 1,000 views. If you can get anything more than $5, you're laughing. So that means on 1,000 page views, you're making about $30 to $60 per month, which may buy you a lunch a month, but not much of anything else. Getting more traffic is not necessarily the key to making more money. Traffic is important, and it's something you must always work on. However, what is more important than traffic is how you monetize the traffic. Blog monetization efficiency is measured in eCPM, which stands for effective cost per thousand. It basically states how much money your blog is making for every 1,000 page views. There are two ways to increase the eCPM. You can increase your traffic, or you can increase the amount of money you make from your current traffic. Ideally, you want to do both. But generally, it's much easier to increase eCPM by tweaking your blog than it is by increasing your traffic. Just changing the location or color of a Google ad can double the click rate, which in turn will double your income. It's a lot easier to do that than to try to double your traffic. The average blog has an eCPM of less than $5. My blog has an eCPM of over $100. Now, how did I get us that high? Well, that's going to be the topic of my workshop on Monday, and I'll reveal it then. So, let me leave you with some final tips that have greatly helped me over the years. Blog consistently. This is a marathon. It's not a 100-meter dash. Pick a posting frequency and just stick with it. Surround yourself with success. Find the most successful people in your field and get on their radar. Don't be afraid of rejection. Many will agree to mentor you if you respect their time. Treat your business partners well. Never try to screw them over. What goes around comes around, and payback is a bitch. Live below your means. It's how I survived the dot-com crash. Always keep working on your brand. It's what separates you from the 120+ million blogs out there. It's not what you make, it's what you give. Most people equate success with how much money you make. However, I think the true measure of success is not how much you make, but how much you give. While it's great to have a bunch of fancy toys, you have to keep in mind that when the time comes, God isn't going to judge you based on how many fancy cars you drove. You attract what you give out. If you give out negative vibes, you're going to get negative vibes back. You want people to smile at you? Smile at them. You want love? Give love. Want money? Give money. It will all come back to you in a greater amount than you gave. And lastly, don't take things so seriously. Have fun at this. It's not the final destination that's important. It's the journey along the way. Enjoy the journey. Thank you.